Do 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 do. Hey, what's up, girl? I gotta stop saying that. uh, you know what the LCD is? It's called the lowest common denominator. It's kind of like troglodytes you see when you accidentally stumble into a Walmart, like, ooh. Specifically, of course, this also applies to metaphysics, or what people refer to as spirituality. This is a really lame word. I'm spiritual. These are people that have rejected ABC, XYZ religion for various reasons, obviously, and they like go to the bookstore and let me tell you something. If it's in a retail bookstore, it's shit. SHYT. Shit. It's total crap. There's nothing good. There's no such thing as a hardcore book, or even medium core book on metaphysics in any retail, but does not exist. And they buy some sort of little pop Zen book, or something, where the Dalai Lama is going like this and he's smiling. Of course, the Dalai Lama is nothing other than the Tibetan version of the Pope. He's a figurehead. You could actually make a robot and have it be the religion of a figure, and you just wheel it out every month, and you flip the switch, make sure you got some nice strong D-cell batteries in there, and it goes like this. And every 10 seconds it says, "Bless you, child," and people are like, "Oh God." That's it. Yeah. And religion, by the way, is secularized metaphysics, which means taking the good parts out of metaphysics and dumbing it down for the vox populi. The ancient Pali word for that is patugina, which unfortunately the Theravadins, or those yellow-robed monks throughout India and Ceylon and Southeast Asia, they translate that as commoners, but that's actually not what the ancient Pali term patugina means. It actually sounds like you're spitting, patugina. What it means is a profane, metaphysical lowlife. It's someone that can't comprehend things. Anyway, let's get to the heart of the matter. People reject religion for 10,000 reasons, and they buy a pop book, or they go to a meditation retreat. You know exactly what I'm talking about. I lived in California for a while with my wife, and people, man, that is so the rage out there. Man, I spent $2,000 this weekend. I went to meditation retreat. I feel so much cleaner. They gave me a coffee enema, and I sat on a zafu, and I shaved my head, and man, I totally I went into the void, man. I experienced emptiness. Oh man, I love it when people say they experienced emptiness, because I immediately destroy them when they say that. Because, of course, to talk about there's no such thing as emptiness. It's purely conceptual. Just as there's no such thing as a shadow. A shadow is not a thing. A shadow is an absence of light. There's absolutely no such thing as emptiness. Did you experience emptiness? Yeah. Well, who was it that experienced it? I was. Well, if you experienced it, then it wasn't empty. What do you mean? Well, you experienced it, yes. You remember experiencing it, yes. So you were in it, you experienced it, and you're calling it emptiness, but since you were in it, it therefore wasn't empty by denotation or even connotation, so there's no such thing as emptiness. And subject precedes object in negation. But anyway, let's talk about the nonsense that people get into. I know you've heard this 10,000 times, especially from Europeans and Westerners. They talk about being in the moment, be here now. Talk about breath meditation. Man, emptiness. This is one of my favorites, emptiness. And of course, the term meditation. Of course, this is a completely meaningless term. It doesn't refer to anything specific. When you're actually, sitting on the toilet with your underwear around your ankles, and you're passing a load, and you're counting the holes in the ceiling. Technically, that's meditation. So obviously, this is not a nobler pursuit. This is neither metaphysics nor is it helpful. And of course, the retort that all people that engage in this sort of superficiality, and what it is spiritual materialism, is specifically most of it is a type of spiritual suicide, is that they want to pretend like they're an animal. Which animals, of course, unless it's like a higher animal, like dolphins and chimps and stuff like that, they don't get depressed and they don't get emotional. They're literally in the moment all the time. That's how animals are. They're completely reactive. I mean, they you know, other than in their native instincts, they don't like look to the future and they don't think about the past. Animals are free from this emotional stress. And this is what these idiots do that like pay thousands and thousands of dollars to go to like Zen retreats and meditation centers. They burn sandalwood and they buy fancy cushions and I blanked out my mind. I experienced emptiness. I was just present in the moment. Oh my God. Man, this is just, it's fake metaphysics. It's superficiality. It's actually spiritual nihilism. I don't know if you know what nihilism is, but you should look up that word. Spiritual suicide. None of this has anything to do with elevating oneself. It has nothing to do with retroduction, i.e. the disubjectification, i.e. the identification phenomenology of seeing oneself and what is not the self, i.e. identifying what you see in the mirror. Because what you see in the mirror, of course, is the corporeal, the psychophysical, the persona non grata, the construct that is not the self. By the way, if you ever want to make a donation, I don't make much money off of YouTube. Now would be a great time. Talk about materialism, but I'm being perfectly honest. I love doing metaphysics videos like this because I can make like 10,000 of them. It's just so easy because I've spent so many years translating these and experiencing and unfortunately meeting people like this. And they talk about, well, I'm going to just be here now. Listen, if you want to, be an animal and emulate an animal who neither looks to the future nor looks to the past, they're always in the moment, they're emotionally unevolved, that has nothing to do with liberation. That is not part of metaphysics taught by the Indians, taught by the Upanishads, the Rig Veda, Samaveda, the five Nikayas, Advaita Vedanta. It's not taught by the ancient Greek Platonists, the Pythagoreans, the Neoplatonists. None of that stuff is metaphysics at all. Sure it is, I'm just like, I've got some fancy robes and I empty my mind. I just be in the present moment. If you want to empty your mind out and be calm, and this works, I absolutely promise you there's a really, really, really fast way to be calm and unstressed, totally de-stressed for the rest of your life. You just get a lobotomy, okay, which they actually still perform that archaic procedure. Don't do this. But this would work. Get a lobotomy, then they stick you on a morphine drip for the rest of your life, or you could be put on some sort of diazepam or something, but a lobotomy would be enough. And you could just sit in a diaper, and you could just they'll put you in a little tiny hospital room, and you could they'll turn on the cartoon channel and glue the knob so you can't turn it. There's no knobs on TVs anymore. You could just watch cartoons and Bugs Bunny for the rest of your life. You could just sit there on a morphine drip, lobotomized, and you will be the coolest cucumber on earth. All your stress will be gone. That is not liberation. That is not emancipation. That has nothing to do with metaphysics. Nothing whatsoever. This be here now, be in the present moment. Sit with a straight spine. A specific type of yoga posture. Wear certain robes. Burn sandalwood incense. This sort of spiritual materialism. This ritualistic crap has no connection to metaphysics. And there's not even a single iota of logic that would ever connect that sort of, and people, especially stupid Americans and Europeans, they get engaged into this garbage that, and people that taught that, like Alan Watts, who is a drug-using loser. Sorry, but he was. He's a drug-using loser. There's countless thousands of books, and you'll see them at retail bookstores, and this is the crap that people read. I can always tell you how stupid someone is. What's your favorite spiritual book? I'll just use their language because the real word is metaphysics, and that stuff isn't metaphysics at all. But you'll use the word spiritual because that's the common vernacular for the layman who is engaging in spiritual. What's your favorite book? And they'll tell me something. The Dalai Lama, or Thich Nhat Hanh, or Bhikkhu Bodhi, or Alan Watts, and man, I know all of them. I could go down the list of this superficial human fecal matter that people not only read, and life's too short to read crap. That's my motto. I'm going to tattoo that right on my forehead, not literally. Life's too short to read crap, and it is. That's the stuff people believe in. It's like, that's my stuff, man. I I clear my mind out and I be in the present moment, and man, my daily stress just vanishes. Well, I mean, if you want that, you should go see your doctor and have him give you, up your diazepam or your Xanax prescription, and you just chillax. As soon as you get off work, you just pop one. You're not doing anything that has anything to do with liberation. That's not metaphysics at all. But this is the stuff that people believe. And because you know and I know why they've rejected, XYZ religion, because they're nonsensical tripe. And of course they are. And that's fine. We could all agree upon that. But what they do is they replace one form of nonsense with something far more nonsensical. Why, man, this guy's always happy. They got a little... You go look behind your shoulder. They always got... I don't look behind your shoulder, and they got like 3 books from the Dalai Lama. I don't care what you think about the guy, but he has nothing wise to say. I mean, he doesn't. Man, people are gonna hate me for this video for saying that. I don't care, though. I don't run a popularity contest. He's nothing other than a smiling figurehead. He walks around, Why, he's calm and peaceful. He's a figurehead. That guy can no more have a discussion on hardcore metaphysics than you could swim your way to the moon. It's absolutely impossible. Yeah, but he's calm and happy, and please, let's be realistic here. This is the stuff. I mean, so many people recently tell me about Alan Watts and all these things like that. Is that the stuff that you read? Is that the stuff you think's metaphysics? You sure it is. It makes me feel better during the day. There's a lot of things that could do that for you. That's not metaphysics, though. Be here now. So what you're saying is that your endeavor is to emulate a dumb animal. People don't realize, but the very stuff that they talk about is exactly the characteristics of a unintelligent animal. Sniffing its butt, it's in the present moment. Oh, animals are always in the present moment. So your idea of metaphysics is emulating a dumb animal. I know I love animals, but so you think it's good that you're emulating a dumb animal, right? You're doing everything a dumb animal does, but sniff and lick its own butt. I mean, people are amazing. They don't even stop to think the stuff that they believe in, how ridiculous it is. But I mean, it's just replacing one form of nonsense with another, but they should be trying to elevate themselves. If you want to use the word spiritually, I don't care. But elevation both implies and infers disubjectification. Because all suffering is embodiment. It is seeing self and what is not self. And that is an ancient quote from both the Greeks and the Indians. The most repeated phrase in ancient Pali is Isakaya namisata. This body is not my soul. And people don't realize what it is they believe in. Believe it or not, and this is the other huge mistake people make. People think that, like science and everything is logical and science. Metaphysics is hyperlogical. There is no flim-flam when it comes to, and I hate the word spirituality because it's really a pretty meaningless term. But when it comes to spirituality or true metaphysics, I mean, it's hyperlogical. Hyperlogical. There's nothing that requires some sort of nonsensical leap of faith. You just need to believe, man, and you'll be healed, and, all your sins. And no. True metaphysics is hyperlogical. People fail to see that. Anyway, I love doing videos on metaphysics. Other people seem to like them. Other people seem not to like them. But it doesn't matter what I do because there's always somebody that hates something. So I can make videos about fuzzy, cute bunny rabbits eating raspberries, and I'd still be getting death threats. Be like, I hate you. You're I hate you for that fuzzy bunny rabbit. I just had a dream about you, and I hate you because you're feeding that rabbit raspberries, and everybody knows that rabbits aren't supposed. There's a lot of crazy people out there. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. I'm gonna warm up my hands beside this fire and call it a night. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. Man, am I tired. Whew. I burned the candle at both ends today. Thank you, and have a good evening.